Hi guys, today's video is going to be putting all my audio equipment into my lovely shiny new lid. I'm going to show you quickly putting it in, but more importantly than that, I'm going to show you my setup for being able to talk to you guys as well as being able to record audio that's coming from my packtalk Bold, which would be friends if I'm riding with them, wife if she's on the back, or the music. Now, unfortunately with GoPro, you also have to have a GoPro mic adapter. Now, everyone seems to struggle with being able to record both things at the same time, and there's been lots of different ways of trying, but I think I've come up with a way. It seems to work quite well. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Right, so at the start, we have the packtalk Bold. Coming out of that, there is a mic lead, which is this one with a bendy lead, and a headphone lead, which would normally plug straight into that, and that would be what you'd hear. It's a stereo, so it has to have, I think it's a TS2, so you only have two black rings. Now if you plug into that, a extension, so you need the male, plug into there, so it's male to male, that extension. And then here we have a Y splitter. Plug one side of that, and the other side of the Y splitter, plug your headphones. So now what you've effectively got is mic being able to talk to the packtalk sound from the headphones, so everything that I would hear, be it my sat nav, the group chat, my music, is coming down, then coming into the Y splitter, so it's going off to my headphones, but also means that it's coming out down here as well, so I've got duplication of that. Now I think what a lot of people would do is they try and plug that in, and I made this mistake to start with, try and plug that into the GoPro with another Y splitter, and what you end up with is really loud sound coming from the GoPro because it's technically amped and the mic is only passive, so it ends up being very quiet. The GoPro doesn't know what to do and it just washes out. Right, so now you've wired up the packtalk, comes down through the extension into the Y splitter, off to the headphones, and then coming out of here is the same signal that's going to the headphones. Now I've got it going through. Now this is where the magic is. This is a volume adjuster. I'm going to put links to everything in the description below, and I'm also going to put up some screenshots of everything just in case I can't get the links to work. If I was just to run that and the mic straight into a Y splitter and put it into there, it would wash out because the amp in here would totally override the passive mic. So by putting this little volume adjuster, I can dial down the volume of the packtalk so I can get the mic and the packtalk volume to similar levels. So that's what I've ended up here. So I've ended up with one mic end that is literally running straight through, and one end that comes out of the volume control. Now just that, which does take a little bit of playing with. Now here is not a Y splitter. This turns a mono and a mono going into a stereo. So it turns it to a left and a right signal. So I put the mic end all the way through, that will say come out the right, and I turn what was a stereo input into that, and that will come out the left. So here now at this end I have got a right and a left that are completely separate sounds. So on the right it will be my mic, and on the left it will be a volume controlled packtalk Bold. So the two channels go into the GoPro adapter. The GoPro then records them similar volume levels, and then in editing, which I'll go to in a sec, I'll show you how you can pull apart the left and right and then splice them back together to make audio that I can edit so you can hear me or hear the person that's talking to me clearly. I'll show you that in a sec. Now, that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Right guys, I've got Davinci Resolve on. I've uploaded a couple of different tracks. So if I play it, you'll hear me coming out of the right, and in a sec you'll hear Charlene coming out of the left. Now I could leave it like this and that would be fine, but all I can do to the audio is cut up what I've got. So if I had two people talking and one was talking over the other and I only wanted one, I couldn't do anything with it. Now you can separate the two up. So if I unlink video and the audio, I can then add a different track underneath. Select that and I copy that and send it underneath here, and I will paste. I end up with a copy of exactly the same. So it's me and Charlene, right and left, exactly the same. If I click on clip attributes, change it to mono, have the top one as track 1, go on bottom one, clip attributes, mono, track 2, you can now see there's a little waveforms. I have one, which this is me, and the bottom one is Charlene talking. So if I wanted to cut one up now, I can link them all back together. So if this was a bigger, longer thing, I can cut and paste it, and then that way when I move it, the whole thing stays linked. But I can cut out, or I could keep them unlinked and then just cut out certain people. Play me again.
As if I was riding along the road and I'm talking to you guys as if I was just doing
What do you think it's going to take for us to get there?
Well,
so if I didn't want Charlene talking over me, or I wanted to move it, I can actually, because it's unlinked, move it a little bit up because there's got a gap because she started too early. So that way.
If I was just doing
How long do you think it's going to take for us to get there?
well,
So coming on to my second.
you can hear me hopefully out of the left or the right hand side.
So hear me out of the right.
And if I was to press play now,
Now again, if I decided that I wanted to change it because I thought maybe one was maybe the sound was too loud, I just need to unlink the clips, copy, paste. So now I've got exactly the same track twice, or exactly the same audio twice. Track attributes, turn it to mono, channel 1, OK. Now you can see that suddenly it's lost all of this, because that is the sound. Do the same to that track attribute, mono, channel 2, which is basically left or right, channel 1 or 2. You have me on top,
and if I was to press play,
and anything that was coming out the other channel you have at the bottom. So I could link them back together, cut and paste them. I could decide that I didn't like that little bit, so although I wanted this part of it, I didn't want this guy, so that way.
and if I was to press play
Look at me.
now,
And then you only get that bit, so that could have been someone swearing or something like that. So that's how you can use a GoPro, use the two different channels and get them into Davinci Resolve in this case, but any video editing software, pull them apart and put them back together. Right, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm assuming if you're watching this video you've got a rough idea on what you're doing with editing and everything else, and it has made sense. Imagine most editors will do the same, but it is just a case of splitting up the left and right, putting it back together again, relinking it all, and then you've got one video / audio file with your 2 channels separated out, so you can cut one into the other if you wanted to cut it out, like the sat nav cutting over me whilst I was talking to you. I could actually cut out the sat nav, but 2 seconds later Charlene was talking to me, I wanted to keep that. I can obviously just keep that bit in. So I hope that makes sense. If there's any other questions. Right, so everything's connected up. I've temporarily connected the GoPro onto the helmet. It's not its final place. I've got different chin mount coming, but for now this is going to work. So this is me filming you, filming me. Right, so you can hear me now coming out of one of the channels. And if I press play whilst I'm still talking, suddenly the other channel will work. And at the moment, the GoPro is now recording a left and a right, one being my voice, one being the music. But it doesn't have to just be the music. It could be, right guys, well you're just going to have to picture the scene as if I was riding along the road and I'm talking to you guys as if I was just doing a...
How long do you think it's going to take for us to get there?
Well, oh, sorry babe, I think we're going to be there in about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. Okay, right, well, hopefully that has pointed out that you should get 2 channels coming at the same time as if I was just doing a...
How long do you think it's going to take for us to get there?
Well, oh, sorry babe, I think we're going to be there in about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Are we there yet?
Nearly. Is your bum going numb?
Always.
Right. Well, hope that makes sense. I hope you can follow along. If you've got any questions, feel free to message me. I'll try and answer them as much as I can. So, from the painter with a crash helmet on, please like and subscribe. Take care.